Hello, everyone, and welcome to some Champions League Twilight Struggle. I'm Justin Abramson with you, and today we've got Josiah Emery and Sung Hong Cho going at it in a Champions League group play match. This is previously recorded action, and Josiah is one of the Atlantic League's representatives. He finished second as the runner-up, went 9-0 to start the tournament before falling to Tim Furrow in the championship game. So excited to see how his Champions League journey is playing out. As, of course, I sit on the sidelines, as no doubt folks in the chat will point out. I crash out of the Atlantic League in group play for the second consecutive year. So that is, I continue to be a punching bag in that league, although I think I'll be starting it again this year. And so looking forward to crashing out in the group stage for a third consecutive time. But enough yammering for me. Let's get to the Twilight Struggle here. So we'll be watching from Josiah's point of view today. I've got this on slightly higher speed, 1.25. Let's go. So Josiah's got a hand here. Wow, he's got a lot of headlines here. He's got Purge, he's got AI War, he's got Decall, and he's got Nasser. All four make sense as headlines. We'll see what he goes with. Not a lot of ops, though, especially if the headline's Purge. That means he's stuck with just ones and twos. No defectors here. Decall probably will not be the choice. Nasser seems to be an obvious choice, especially if you suspect Middle East scoring. Nasser also a good choice because he has Decall in his hand. And so maybe we'll bait out a coup of Egypt, which will let him get off Decall better. And hold on, folks. I'm just going to mute this video very quickly. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so we got a 4-4-2 just set up in a weird way. Okay. Quick headline. So yeah, Nasser's probably would be my play with Decall in my hand. Oh, 5-year plan. Lots of good targets here and hits AI War. Okay, a sigh of relief there from Josiah, no question about it. AI War not that great at the moment with Nasser invented. Okay, so now Josiah's got a decision to make. He can do the Nasser spread into Libya if he likes, or he can try a coup. One thing I did not love about Josiah's play was he set up in Yugoslavia with independent reds in his hand. When I have independent reds in my hand, I prefer to go Austria. Usually I'm a Yugoslavia guy, but I often like to get independent reds out quickly for free. Shouldn't make a ton of difference, though, especially because he has Truman, and so perhaps plans on playing Truman before playing independent reds. Okay, a big coup there. And now Josiah with a decision to make. He could coup that back, but he would need to get a 4 in order to get anything into Egypt. I think the better play probably is to just Decall here. It would guarantee him Thailand. But maybe he will go with a coup instead. Yeah, I like this decision by Josiah. You can go right into Thailand. Opponent does not have Malaysia. And then I like Angola. And then perhaps Indonesia as well. Tunisia is also interesting if you want for access to Libya. Okay, I like one Indonesia. I do not like Burma. Josiah is already in Iran. He rolled a 6. So even if Iran gets couped later, there's no way he's going to lose access to Western Asia. I do not like Burma. I do not like Laos. Those countries are not contested. Yeah, okay. So Josiah does go with Laos, goes with 3 in Southeast Asia. Little bit surprised by that. Because if he had gone into Angola, there's no way I would think that Sung would coup Angola and just hand over France. Now, obviously, Josiah would have to play China in order to take France. But Sung does not know that his ops are so poor. So, okay, we've got 3 in Southeast Asia and just the 1 in Africa. Okay, and now... Yep, okay, and now Josiah needs to take Thailand here. So one Thailand makes sense, and then um, yeah, perhaps Josiah thinking about one Lebanon to take Middle East Dom, one South Korea makes sense, potentially one Algeria. But yeah, I think, and now in response to that, I would expect a coup here, probably of Algeria. So Asia looking very good for Josiah early. Oh, just influence. Okay, gonna take Libya, Egypt. Gonna take Middle East domination. I like that decision. So now Josiah has the option to coup. Also, neither player has gone to space yet. Okay, and Josiah does decide to take a big swing at Lebanon, gets the roll, so now stops Middle East domination. There's certainly no way that Sung has the scoring. Okay, here's the coup, and he misses on the roll. And now I would expect to see another coup from Josiah. Okay, and sure enough, Josiah cleaned out Yugoslavia with Truman. Now he's going to play independent Reds. Ooh, looking for a big role in Libya and misses. I would have much rather seen that go to Panama, especially with um, CIA already seen. Just try and knock your opponent out of Panama, make your D-stall easier if you draw it turn 2. Okay, and there we go with sock govs, and I would expect, so this is a little bit tricky. Special is very spaceable here, but I think Josiah probably, yeah, overprotecting Thailand is good. You hate to give that fourth in France in case Suez comes up. I would have, okay, second in South Korea makes sense too, but I think I would have rather seen one in Algeria to lock off Sung from going in there. Obviously, Josiah's role in Libya looks great if he rolls a 6 or even a 5. But with a 3 there, that could have caused real damage in Panama by knocking the U.S. out. As it is, Sung can just go right back in there. Now, Sung definitely will want to go right back in there because otherwise Nasser stops presence. This is a much needed fourth in France. Okay, and you're going to UN probably a 3-op here. Yeah, okay. UN of Warsaw is interesting. I would much rather see Warsaw out of the deck and not UN it, but all right. I guess you also don't want to hold a 1-op card. Okay, and here we go. So turn 2, Josiah happy to see Asia in his hand, but again, no 4-ops. So he's just drawn the 1. And Middle East makes sense as a headline for, that was a very quick headline for Sung. So Middle East would make sense. And Olympic Games, a potential headline. I have not seen Defector, so I don't want to headline Asia into that. IP War is not really going to do anything. And Josiah also happened to have drawn D-stall, so I would expect we wouldn't see Blockade. Ooh, Korean War, very risky headline here. I do not like this. Yeah, that's a problem because now if we see after this coup of almost certainly Panama with Middle East scored, we could see Sung take South Korea with a 4-op. Interesting. Going to play Duck for ops. If we're going to play Duck for ops, then Algeria is the play. Saudi much more important than Saudi Arabia. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't like Saudi Arabia here. I would rather just take my coup in Panama, I think. Because even if South Korea is taken, which I just said would be a bad scenario. Even if South Korea is taken, you are still going to get domination with Pakistan. You already have you have IP war in hand. Opponent has no access there. You've got Laos and Indonesia. You should be able to get domination with no problem. But okay, Josiah uses the three ops of duck. A little bit of an old school Twilight Struggle play there from Josiah. That was a favorite play of Theory's. Okay, well, so we did have a 4-op, and now, yeah, I'm going to take Algeria. Yeah, and if I were Josiah, I think I would have rather taken Algeria there. Certainly, Algeria can still get broken, but then you force them to play 2 ops instead of 1. Now Africa is going to look pretty ugly. And I would expect to see D-stall right here, because otherwise you're going to lose Zaire as well. I think I like D-stall right now. You can take 1 out of Lebanon, 2 out of Iran, and then probably 1 out of Syria is fine too. And then you'll want to go probably Zaire, Venezuela, Chile, and then maybe Nigeria as well would be my guess, because we've already seen decall. Asia scoring can definitely wait. Yeah, 1 Finland. Of course, I wasn't thinking of Finland. Yeah, 1 Finland. 2 Iran, I think is fine. And then 1 Lebanon. I'm going to go Eastern Europe instead. Okay, leave 4 in Iran so it doesn't get cooed. Yep, and then I like Venezuela. Boy, I do not like... What if? Yes, that would be crazy. Yeah, this I like better. Now that I don't understand this. Okay, never seen that before. Okay, so Josiah is going to fight Europe. Doesn't have Europe in hand. Okay, so Josiah also figures, you know what? I'm down 8 VP. I don't want to get down 13 VP by giving up a Europe domination. Okay, yeah, Marshall event, a very good play here. And Josiah does not have a 3-op to take Turkey. Okay, so China for 3 in Turkey. Still, a 3-op play taking Canada and Benelux re-establishes domination. But okay, we're going to play China. Okay, and a 4th. If you're playing against Ted Livermore, yeah, I even if not playing against Ted, I like the overprotecting North Korea. Although if you're going to overprotect North Korea, you probably need to overprotect South Korea as well because the war is gone. Josiah evented the war early on. Okay, and there goes Europe. So Josiah saves 4 VPs by with his incredibly unconventional D-stall. And then he picks up 7 in Asia. He's going to pick up another 2 on Milops. Sung hits the roll there. So Josiah now without access here. I think you want to fill. I think you want to fill up Iraq or go into Pakistan here, with all 3 early war regions scored. Yep, I like this play. Stops Middle East Dom. Yep, that's fine too. Double overprotect of Thailand makes sense as well with giving up the China card. Really establishing position in Asia here, and then I would expect we'd see Cambridge 5. Okay, well, and there's Romanian, so Europe Dom probably not happening for Sung. Okay, it goes into Zaire. And is going to event blockade. D-Stal is gone, so Sak Govs, I believe, is as well. So he's looking for Suez or De Gaulle, hits Suez. But again, even Suez doesn't really do anything. Okay, and 1. Yeah, I don't understand that. I definitely would have evented captured Nazi. I don't... very, very surprised to see that played for ops. That's 2 VPs thrown away just to fill up Panama. But okay, especially that is especially true with the Africa situation nowadays. Josiah is definitely going to want to coup in Africa, not Panama here. Yeah, and I like the comment from Ricky there that you want to put blockade back in the deck to potentially surprise your opponent later. Okay, so Josiah gets captured Nazi, and in fact, I think that's probably his headline here. Given that if he had Middle East, I think he's going to headline it. Yep, and that's exactly what he does. And he gets domination out of it. So Josiah could not find 2 ops to fill up Iraq. And he misses on c5. I would like to see the Nazis headline there, I think, because if you hit Europe, it's not going to affect the situation there. If you hit Asia, great, but again, it's not going to affect the situation there. And if Sung has Middle East, he's going to headline it, which is exactly what happened. So don't love that headline. I think I'd have rather seen captured Nazi scientists. But okay. Oh, and my goodness, Josiah rolls a terrible 1. So no access whatsoever in Africa. That is brutal. And we could easily see Sung establish Africa control here by the end of this turn. Yep, and JR mentioning that you want to use your 3-op there, just in case you roll a 1. And yeah, just getting into Zaire, establishing a little bit of access, very important. But I can understand the decision to use the 2-op. Just hope you don't roll a 1. But sometimes those anything but a 1 coups in Africa really hurt. And here we have a 4-op, so I assume Zaire. Yep, Saharan states in Mexico makes sense, and I don't think Josiah is probably going to want to coup in Saharan states. I think he's going to want to keep those Mill-Ops VPs. He does have IP war, which he very smartly held through the reshuffle, so he knows that we won't see. Okay, he does go for the coup, desperate to try and get some access in Nigeria. Works out well for him in terms of the role. Let's see what the coup back looks like. Okay, and a 3-op coup. Okay, he gets just enough. I mean, you've committed to it at this point. You're cooing again. A bad roll. And I mean, I suppose you are happy to see East European unrest in the discard pile. Okay, yep, and I think you're UNing NORAD here and cooing that right back. We've committed to the coup war, might as well stick it out. Don't have another great place to put ops. You want to fill Pakistan and India. Iraq, obviously much less important with Middle East already scored. Yeah, I like UNing NORAD here. Trying one last coup, and he rolls a 2. That's a disaster. So now here we are, AR5. There's AI War. The event needs a 6, only gets a 3. Even a 1 here is fine. And he rolls a 5. So Josiah will not get his Millops VPs. I think he needs to satisfy himself with just the 1 from space, and then he will play containment on AR6. Oh boy, what a rough turn from Josiah. Had a couple of bad rolls in Africa. There's another 4-op. Yep, and a second in Angola makes perfect sense. Yeah, he's going to fill Iraq. Not sure I like that. With Middle East scored, I think I'd rather see Pakistan filled. Obviously, you don't want to get brushed, but puppet governments or usury into there causes major problems in the mid-war, especially with you don't have the China card. I would like to see at least 1 in Pakistan here. I'm going to take Vietnam, protect Thailand from brush. Okay. So it's a Vietnam revolts is in the discard, and you eventually need to get, Southeast scoring will come up. So that's one op for 1 VP, usually a good trade. Okay, Comic-Con, Josiah happy to see that. And this will probably go Guatemala. And maybe Malaysia. Not a lot of great places for this 1-op. Guatemala, Malaysia, Philippines, potentially. Yeah, that's exactly... Oh! Okay, forgot about containment. It's just going to overprotect in Africa rather than going into... Put a third in Angola and a second in Nigeria. We're worried about potentially a decall headline. Okay. Does not go to Guatemala at all. So we head to the mid-war, and Josiah ahead in Asia, but behind in all 3 other regions. And he does get Asia, and he gets Junta as well. Wow. Defectors is gone, so Junta, a Junta headline here with a coup of Panama, and then expanding into both South Americas, expanding into both sides of South America would be huge here. Yeah, I like a Junta into Uruguay. Oh, that's painful if you're Josiah. It's going to be a cool 11. No, you've got to go Uruguay here, especially with Africa scored. If Africa were not scored, I would certainly be okay with, going into Venezuela or Chile. But with it scored, okay, it gets a 4, cleans him out. Yep, there's a big 11. And now, yeah, I like... Suez here, 2 Argentina, 1 Brazil, I think. Suez is definitely not getting invented. Brezhnev might be a decent hold. No, I would use Suez for this. This is fine. A fine use of 3 ops, but I would have used Suez instead of Brezhnev because you could potentially hold Brezhnev the next turn, although, well, never mind. You really are not going to do that. Panama Canal, oops, 2 should have gone to Brazil, 1 Argentina. I'm fine either way. If you do see PCR here, then you have a 4-op to go 1 Brazil, 3 Venezuela. So I think that's fine. But my remark about holding Brezhnev is not fair. You're certainly not giving puppets here. So I think you're going to space duck and hold puppets, or you're going to space 1, hold the other. I don't think you're going to hold anything else. Yep, and there's Usury. So just like I mentioned, that is going to neutralize Asia, and Josiah here is going to have to just score Asia and take his dom while he can. I think you have to just score Asia right here. Yep, so he's going to get 6 out of it. So Josiah gets 6 out of it, and so it doesn't really hurt him now, but in the long term, losing both Pakistan and India is an issue. US-Japan is gone. IP war is gone. But Josiah does get his Asia Dom off for 6. Cut into the lead here. I think we would have seen Panama Canal if Sung had it. I don't think he does. Okay, and he spaces and misses. I would expect a space back here. Yep, and Josiah hits the roll, so both players at space 2. Yep, and Ricky mentions that Sung could have put 2 into Lao, 2 of Usuri into Lao, which would have stopped domination right away. And of course, Josiah did not have access to India. Yep, so I like this. Brazil's fine. Josiah's going to need mill-ops here at some point, so he could coup Saharan states, or he could invent how I learned. Boy, that Usuri really hurt the board long term. The short term didn't matter, only cost 1 VP, but in the long term that could matter a lot. Josiah's got to find a way to make some inroads in Africa before that scoring comes out in the late war. I did not like Josiah's use of D-stall, but it saved him 4 VPs in the early war, and Sung does not appear to be contesting Europe, so could save him another 4 VPs in the mid-war, and he got into South America anyway, although I would have probably used D-stall in Zaire and Nigeria, so Africa would not have been 11. But okay, so Quagmire for 3 ops, take the contested Saudi Arabia, that makes sense. So Middle East, to reestablish the Middle East domination, although of course the scoring is gone. So really, this board, it feels like Josiah is far behind in this game, but really his only bad region is Africa. Oh boy, and there's a big 4-op. Mr. Big Spender, as they say. Okay, wow, don't like that decision, filling up Japan with the scoring gone. I think that definitely could have waited. But I also understand the decision to fill up battlegrounds you have access to. So it's hard to hard to criticize when there are battlegrounds that are open that need filling, and Sung with no access in South America. Has obviously access in Africa, but everything's filled and mostly overprotected. Josiah has no access in Africa. He's got to fill up South America. Does need mill-ops, though. Okay, so here's another VP for Josiah. And he's going to overprotect Mexico. Okay. And then I would expect how I learned, for a coup, I think is fine. And then, but, Josiah now doesn't get a third. Couple of things. Josiah does not get a third into Venezuela. And he also does not fill up Chile, which means a coup here of Uruguay rolling anything other than a 1 is going to stop his domination. He doesn't get control, and so he won't even have domination if the coup rolls anything other than a 1. The other thing it does is a coup rolling a 3 or better followed by VOA knocks Josiah out of the top half of South America with no hope of getting back in other than with a coup, because D-stall and Junta are gone. Yes, Josiah. Yes, the desal into Europe was turn two, and he did have the scoring, so it did save you an immediate four VPs, and it could save you four more once the scoring comes up here in the mid war. Okay, and here's Europe scoring, and here is some garbage. Oh my goodness! So we've got grain and puppets. Missile envy. Now we will bury you is gone, so I think missile envy is going to be our headline. Um, So yes, I think this is a pretty straightforward headline, and there it is, VOA, and that is absolutely devastating if you're Josiah. That is going to take him out of the top half of South America. It could also take him out of the bottom half, but with Allende still around, the top half makes a lot more sense. Yep, and Josiah also with puppets and OAS, Panama. Yeah, and so Josiah's going to have to give up those cards, and oh, he loses out on a coup as well. He does get CMC, so he is going to get the first space shot. So he could go into Uruguay here. But he could also space. First space shot will be important here. I definitely understand wanting to re-establish domination, though. So I also like three in Uruguay, but man, you are low on ops because you can't play any of those last four cards. So you really only have five ops. You're going to have to go one with gunmen into Brazil, and then Muslim into two Venezuela, one Chile, and then that's really it for the turn in terms of your ops. This hand is just complete garbage. So with three there, I would be surprised to see a coup. I would expect to. Oh, of course. What am I saying? You know what? I need to pay more attention, folks. So sorry about that. Of course, he has to play Missile Envy. So Josiah does not need to worry about spacing right away. And so now, yeah, I would use Lone Gunman one into Brazil. Yes, I like this decision. And you now have a presenceless Dom in South America. Yeah, central scoring makes sense. That's a nice easy four. Now I would expect to see Josiah go to space with grain. This is I don't I think space is more important. Josiah is literally holding all of the cards that Sung could use to get into the top half of South America, other than, of course, ABM. And I think if he had ABM, he would have used it, Brush as well. But I think he would have used it in Brazil there. Okay, so but Josiah fills up Venezuela, and he does space, misses on the roll, so Josiah has the chance, and he does hit the roll. So Josiah's decision pays off, and he is able to get the two VPs anyway. And there's nuke subs for the event. Going to be used in South America, and Josiah not going to be able to defend against that. Got to dump Europe here. So, okay. I was critical of Josiah's use of destall, but it has saved him 8 VPs, and he has control of South America here anyway. I would expect this. Maybe just coup Angola here, I think. Yep, I'm just going to, oh, and he rolls a 1. Not that it really matters, though. Okay, so he's just using that to get his mill ops, it looks like. And now Josiah's going to have to give up these unpleasant events. I think Panama Canal would probably be first. Maybe puppets. What's puppets going to do? Yeah, I think Panama Canal first. And then you hope that Sung fills Panama on his own. Okay, yeah, and then you're gonna have to, yeah, you'll have to give up. You have to give up puppets. Where's puppets gonna go? Um, Burma, potentially Afghanistan, maybe Peru. A one-op coup in Angola. Okay, so he gets the roll, cleans Josiah out completely, and Josiah's not gonna be able to get mill ops here. I guess he will if you use puppets. Puppets is not going to need to be immediately responded to. So yeah, I think there's no place really it doesn't have access to. Maybe Peru, Colombia potentially, but then Colombia gets cooed and you have to fill Panama right away. I think Peru, maybe Burma. Not a great puppets here. Josiah really, really needs to get his South America scoring off on turn 6. You don't want to give Josiah an easy coup target here. You'd rather make him coup Guatemala if he wants his mill ops. Shouldn't have invented blockade. Yeah, that's not gonna. Yep. Yeah, leaving blockade in the deck probably was better. Getting Suez back in the deck doesn't help that much. Okay, but we're going to see a coup here of Peru and cleans him out. So Josiah does get his mill ops. We might see a break of Venezuela here. South America is the only unscored region other than Southeast Asia. Nope, going to go for a coup instead. And okay, yes, a one-op coup. Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the decision to event nuke subs there, but okay. And here, folks, is some more garbage. However, we do get salt and brush. So salt and brush can help Josiah make inroads in Africa. Libs will help in Central. Now, I still have OAS to deal with. Camp David's going to give control of Israel. That's annoying. And then, of course, CRGs. CRG is actually not that bad once Southeast Asia gets scored, because Africa's bad as it is. And here's Kennedy. Oh, boy. South America and Southeast Asia, prime candidates to get discarded here. South America, Allende, and Willie. Okay, so that is incredibly painful for Josiah to lose South America scoring like that. However, he doesn't lose Southeast Asia scoring at least, and at least, at the very least, Kennedy will be, the scoring will come back turn 7, or rather in the late war. It's not as if it's getting Kennedy turn 7. But okay, I think, I like cooing here with Alliance, and just get into Africa. Yeah, I like this, and then I like just a Nigerian coup. Okay, that's fine. I think I might have used Alliance first, given that Panama is likely to be filled here. And you definitely don't want to give up CRGs until you've seen Southeast Asia. Yeah, I think I would have liked the Alliance coup, although of course Josiah rolled plenty high enough. Yeah, I think we're going to see Panama filled here, so now Alliance is going to be an additional VP. unless, of course, it is used to break Panama. Of course, all that said, a brush on Panama makes sense. But with everything scored other than Southeast Asia, I think a brush on Italy makes more sense. Just don't roll a 3. Okay, rolls a 5. So Josiah does hit on the brush war and now has Europe domination comfortably. We have yet to see the Pope. So that is something to keep in mind. So I wonder if we will see a salt for brush. Salt is pretty good for Josiah here, although salt opens up your 3-1 stability Southeast Asian non-battlegrounds to coups as well. So I think Josiah would probably rather see Southeast Asia scored before he plays salt. Of course, only a 3-card discard means good chance that Sung didn't draw it, and then it's going to come out turn 7. Okay, maybe he does have it. I think I'd probably go to space here or use alliance just to get rid of the obligation. Okay, going to space shuttle. Yep, and shuttle is a problem in both regions, in fact. It would decide domination in both places. There's cultural going to space. He hits on the roll. So yeah, I think salt has to be an event here so you can hold on to CRGs and hold on to OAS as well. I like salting for brush and then taking a coup in Africa, and then you brush probably Panama, and then maybe you use alliance there. Salt for cultural. Interesting. Okay. Can't, boy, I don't remember the last time I've seen that. But an interesting play. Nixon and Usuri are both gone. Gunman is in the it's in the discard and will be reshuffled in. And yeah, there's the problem with the with cultural. Oh my goodness. A 6 on a China card coup, and that had to be a 6. Oh, and now you lose Asia domination with the big China card coup. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, now that hurts because that was no, I don't like this. I like just take your coup in Africa. I like taking a coup in Africa here. Oh boy, that's a bad roll. That's a bad roll. Now Middle East is evened out. Oh. Oh, goodness. That was bad. And then Southeast Asia. Yep. So just as I said, Josiah definitely wants to get Southeast Asia scored before he plays Salt. That happens. Oh, okay. Josiah now, let's look at the board. Josiah is ahead in Europe, but behind in Asia. He's behind in Central America. He's behind in Africa. Middle East is even. He's way ahead in South America. But so everything's scored now. It's probably too early to say this is a DEF CON only situation. But Josiah needs to make up ground in a hurry in multiple regions. And he needs his scorings to come and his opponent's scorings not to. I think I like breaking Panama better than Thailand if we're gonna do that. Yeah, I like this better. Yeah, and Josiah in the chat says he thinks his DEF CON was his only situation, so that's why he went cultural. And yeah, it makes sense. You know, a great lesson in Twilight Struggle is to play to your outs. And if you think that the board is lost and you will not win in final scoring, then playing for Europe control, or excuse me, playing for DEF CON or playing for Europe control makes total sense. And okay, so I don't know if you just give up OAS here, hold cultural. I don't know if you really can't do a ton with the China card. But I guess, yeah, I guess you get cultural back. Yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense. You get cultural back in the deck. A bit of a strange one. So, but if Josiah can get now, let dream scenario for Josiah, he gets South America scoring and a Europe redraw on turn 7, scores them both. That would be a nice 15 VPs. You're talking about a brand new game. And there's two more from Kitchen, so now 16. So yeah, okay, here we go. Turn 7, and Josiah gets ABM, and he gets Willie. And Omit hunting for some scorings and probably. Okay, so I think here you probably will take a coup. I mean, I like cooing Algeria and then Zaire. You get a decent roll in. Oh, gonna go Thailand. That makes sense. Okay, and then you're gonna use EEU to flip Thailand. Oh, gunman. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so DEF CON no longer an option. And Josiah probably. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that hurts. So Josiah decided to try the gunman or the coup in Thailand, which makes sense. I was thinking of potentially just coup Algeria and then coup Zaire, which flips over Africa. But the Thailand play is fine as well, evens up Asia. And now, yeah, you've got to take Thailand here, which makes perfect sense. Yeah. Yep. Gunman and a 4-point OPEC now in the discard. And yeah, JR comments that Josiah did get all the power cards and used them to great effect, I might add. Junta got him effectively 4 battlegrounds in South America, although the region never scored. Brush got him Europe domination, although that hasn't scored yet. And then ABM got him Thailand, although, of course, Southeast Asia was scored before that. Yep, and this can't change Europe domination. The Pope, I believe, is in Sung's hand, though, so we'll definitely see that evented with Poland only at 5. Special forward coup in Nigeria, I would expect. Oh, and a huge roll to reestablish Africa control. That hurts. So Josiah rolls a 2 on his coup of Thailand, and we see a well overprotected Nigeria, just a 2-op coup there, and Sung rolls a 6. Josiah going to take his VPs there, and looking at the board, hard to imagine how Josiah is going to be able to win this one in final scoring. He needs his scorings to come and his opponent's scorings not to come. And he needs to flip. Maybe he's got to flip a battleground in Asia, maybe Middle East. Josiah talking about resigning. Resigning, not a good idea in the Champions League because I believe turn score and the whole best of 2 thing does come into play. So sticking it out till final does make sense. Yep, and there's the Pope. Josiah certainly knew it was coming, so we'll just see that repaired. Yep, JR points out correctly that Josiah had Thailand for all but about 4 action rounds of this game, and it is in that span that Southeast Asia was scored. Just incredibly frustrating. There's decall going to space. I would expect we would see CRGs on its way to space, but there's no real rush on that at the moment. I'm going to try even realigns. Again, Josiah he's down 13 VPs, making some desperation plays. Again, Josiah just has to hope that his opponent's scorings just somehow get lost in the deck while his scorings come. And if he does, again, if South America and Europe come turn 8, Josiah gets both off for 15 VPs. All of a sudden, he's up 2 VPs. And the board doesn't look that bad. Africa is minus 10, and Central America is minus 2, so that's 12. But Europe and South America are 16. So you just have to hope you can get your scorings, your opponents don't get theirs. And this game is not over. I would obviously much, much rather be Sung here than Josiah, but the game is not over. A 5-year plan is certainly Josiah not happy to see that. Would have loved to be able to 5-year plan Africa. Okay, so you're going to space CRGs, I'd have to think. Yeah, I like Willie for the event, but I like spacing first, I think, because you may want, if for some reason West Germany doesn't get repaired, you might want to attack it. Oh, interesting. Sock Govs. Okay, yep. I like one France here as well. I think this probably just gets repaired. Yep, okay, that makes sense. And then I think we'll see CRGs go to space. It's not going to matter really in Africa, but it could matter in Southeast Asia. Josiah misses on the roll. And here's a big 4-up. Wonder if we'll see a South America jam. Nope, Thailand jam. Josiah did not overprotect, and that reestablishes Asia Dom. Good lesson. Always overprotect your Asia battlegrounds, even if you have the China card. And there's Asia scoring, sure enough. Boy, and a duck and tear down and Cal in hand as well. So Cal actually a good card to draw here because you're going to use that for ops, certainly. Josiah happy to see terrorism in his hand as instead of Sung's. This is a very difficult hand with 3 DEFCON suicide cards. Yep, I like I think a terrorism headline makes sense. Yep, Cal certainly is going to have to be played for ops here to protect Thailand with Asia scoring in hand. And if Sung has war games, then he has it, unless, of course, it is discarded with terrorism. Oh boy, Star Wars for what? ABM? Yep, ABM into Thailand, right? Oh, goodness. And discards Che. And now Josiah going to be dominated in Asia. There is no real path back here. Josiah now going to... Yeah, that's not going to do anything. That could be fixed with 1 op. That can be fixed with 2 ops. Yeah, I would jam France here if you're going to jam something. Yeah. With US Japan, you're going to have to give US Japan is the problem with this. You got 3 DEFCON suicide cards here. Okay. It's okay. Maybe the plan here is you hope that your opponent does not have a 4, and then you put Cal in there. Okay, a coup. Oh my goodness, and a 6. Wow. So a coup here suggests either he doesn't have a 4 or he has war games and is fine with just, yep. And so now what you have to do is you've got to take Japan with Glasnost. right? You have to take Japan with Glasnost. But then you're gonna have to give U.S. Japan. I think we will see war games here. Um, I think I would have fought for Japan a little bit. I mean, Middle East is no war games. Okay, interesting. All right, maybe his hand is just really bad. Okay, so Josiah does get Asia off, so good for him. He is able to neutralize Asia. Um, very surprised at the lack of resistance. All right, we're going to go with realigns in Cuba. Okay, so Josiah now going to have to give OAS. He's going to have to give US Japan. And he's going to have to space one of his other 3 cards and hold the other 2. I think I would have liked to see Josiah jam US Japan into Japan first. Fill it up and let Japan go to 4-3. I think that would have been better than using the China card first. And there goes Central. That gets the scoring up to 15. Yep, duck to space. Josiah's got to find some mill ops. Yeah, Josiah very quietly now stops Africa control for the moment. It'll be reestablished here once South Africa retaken. Yep, Josiah's going to have to give up OAS, and then he will give up US Japan as well. Yep, I think Josiah would have wanted to jam Japan with US Japan rather than with the China card. But yeah, Josiah now dominated in 4 out of the 6 regions. That's a huge coup in Iran, even though the Middle East was scored. Okay, and there's OAS. So no mill ops for Josiah. It's going to get to 17. And a space shot here would win the game for Sung. All right, so I wonder if we'll see it. Peru. Well, now you can just coup that. You can coup Nicaragua or coup that. Ivory Coast is fine too. Okay, so save a VP there. I would have liked, with the Millop situation, how it is, I like Venezuela. Okay, the space shot, and he misses on the roll. Yeah, I would have liked to see Venezuela just to force the repair with the Millop situation, how it is. Okay, and Josiah does get war games. Also gets one small step, which would be an interesting headline, except you have to space grain first. Pershing is definitely better. And then, yeah, you are... Certainly Europe is the only path. But even so, I think you're giving Cal. Oh, okay. And that, folks, should be GG. With 3 DEFCON suicide cards in Josiah's hand, if I'm not mistaken. There's going to be no way out of that. Even Brezhnev lets you space, doesn't help you. because you're going to have to play one of those cards. Yep, Josiah realizing his predicament. Oh, and Venezuela gets flipped over too. That is just brutal. So this one, folks, has decided now what could raise DEFCON. Salt is gone. How I Learned is still around. If the opponent somehow decides they want to raise DEFCON for some reason, I don't know why they would possibly want to do that. Yeah, I like just, yeah, this is fine. This one is going to be all academic, folks. Josiah with too many action rounds left. Okay, and there goes France back. We might as well just event one small step here. Yep. Take some VPs. Tough hands here for Josiah in the late war. And as I've been repeating over and over, Josiah needs his scorings to come and his opponents not to. And what's happening is the exact opposite. So reviewing this game, so Africa scoring only came out once. You did score, Sung did score 11 on it. Europe scoring came out twice. So Josiah's move saved him 8 VPs in Europe. And didn't cost him anything in South America, which never got scored. Oh, he gets a 6. Oh my goodness. Would have been a huge roll in a different game. But yeah, this one is over, folks. There goes We Will Bury You. Yep. Oh, goodness. Okay, so Josiah loses this one. An interesting game, interesting use of D-stall, yeah, you know, it was an interesting play, not one I've seen before. To stop Europe domination like that, even with Marshall evented, and then of course had to give China. So it worked out for Josiah, but. You know, being able to hold on to the China card would have been nice. Obviously, being able to put some D-stall ops in Africa would have been nice. So, you know, you just kind of never know how it would have turned out. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Really appreciate you all tuning in in the middle of the day here. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I will be back tonight at 8:30 Eastern for a game again, a team game against Team New Jersey. So we'll have Ryan Pinderlick and Harry Wu on the other side of that. Ted and I will try and rebound from a tough loss, yet another tough loss to Illinois. So I hope you'll join us for that one. But in the meantime, this is Justin Abramson signing off. That was fun, but now it's done. So long, everybody.